Hi everybody, it's Dandruff with your news crushes for Wednesday, July 11th, 2018. Welcome to the middle of the week, and I have to admit, I completely forgot Pokemon Tuesday for yesterday's bonus show, so if you want to join me in talking about Pokemon stuff, be sure to tune in after the main show. For all other stories today, timestamps and reference links are all down below. Today we begin with a story on Sony, because Shuhei Yoshida, the current president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, has said some interesting things during a recent interview. Mr. Yoshida talks about his experience while working at Sony, starting with the first PlayStation, the PSX. He finishes this article by saying, "It's human nature. People make mistakes. I don't know why. We're all human. We're not perfect. PS4 is doing well, but we don't forget why we're here now." I would assume Mr. Yoshida is talking about being at the top of the market share for the console market. Microsoft is in second, but is expected to lose that position to Nintendo by next year. The reasons why, in my opinion, are because Sony had better hardware and had continued relationships with developers in order to make exclusive games for their platform, but also because Microsoft wanted insane DRM up to and including not allowing people to loan games to their friends. Not to mention that checking for internet once a day bullshit. That caused a lot of people to jump ship from Xbox to PlayStation on principle alone. Since then, Sony has retained their line of exclusive games, while Microsoft has embraced the idea of backwards compatibility, cross-platform play, and now even have the more powerful hardware. In this pundit's opinion, Microsoft has a lot more to offer gamers, but Sony has the most important thing: your friends. No, they're not being held hostage. A big reason why people choose one platform over another during a generation change is based on what their friends are going to get. And such is the reason why Sony has refused to embrace cross-platform play. If they did, people would go out and buy an Xbox One X and still be able to play with their friends on PlayStation and have a more enjoyable experience because it's on better hardware. And worst of all, in Sony's eyes, is they wouldn't make any money from third-party microtransactions that aren't on their platform. So in terms of remembering why Sony is in the position they're in, they really don't have many of the factors they had 4.5 years ago. And when you think about the dumbass decisions they've made, like locking your Epic account to their platform if you've logged into Fortnite on a PS4, you really gotta wonder if they're gonna hold on to that lead next generation. Release announcements today start with a delay, and this one's a little weird as it's for Code Vein by Bandai Namco. The reason why is because a release date for September was already finalized, but now the dev team wants more time to surpass people's expectations and will now release sometime in 2019. Let's hope it pans out for them. The underwater crafting survival game Subnautica has been announced for PS4 and will be here by the end of 2018. Finally, we have this spectacular white and teal Xbox One X controller with really cool triangle highlights on the side. I really love the look of this one, and it's available on August 7th. On to some update news, starting with some hardware, but not PC stuff for a change. No, this is about the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo is now rolling out a new version of the hardware that is more resistant to hacking. This means that if you want to switch to hack, you should pick one up shortly, and just for good measure, check which firmware you're running when you get it. Remember, I personally cannot recommend that you hack your Switch because it will void your warranty, and Nintendo may lock you off from online play completely. For the only update news I have for you today, Sea of Thieves has been updated to version 1.1.6, and this also begins the latest event called the Sunken Curse. The event starts today and lasts 2 weeks, ending on July 25th, and of course, the full patch notes can be found through links down below. Moving on to Fortnite, which has begun an event competition lasting 8 weeks. In total, Epic Games plans on paying out around $8 million US dollars during that time. This weekend, $250,000 US dollars is up for grabs for a duos competition. Find a friend and queue up. Who knows, you might win some money. Hey Mello, you doing anything? Here's a quick one with Steam getting a change to its upcoming release page. There's now an option for popular new releases, just in case you want to see what has been selling within the last few days and you don't want to go wading through a bunch of garbage like I have to do every single day for game releases. Speaking of which, Valve has put an extra page between me and getting the releases done, so thanks for that, I guess. Finally today, there are two sides of every story. This one contains a side of soccer players kissing balls and politicians with pens in their noses, and the other side a company that totally still makes games, they promise. For those of you in Belgium and the Netherlands, this would actually be some good news for you. You can now trade and use the market on Steam again. Now that you're happy, allow me to ruin it for you. Valve has decided to block players in those two countries from opening loot boxes in CSGO. This won't stop the discussion lawmakers are having because it can be seen as a preemptive measure to avoid prosecution, instead of, you know, addressing the fucking issue. But that doesn't make money, now does it? Also, there is now a direct link to the market for items from containers in-game, because money. These games are sure to make some dough. It's time for tomorrow's game releases. For PC, Cricket Captain 2018, Drive Switch Evade, Outpost Zero, Dungeons of Taldoria, Insane Robots, Ghostly Matter, Warhammer 40,000, Gladius, Relics of War, and Beard and Axe. For Nintendo Switch, Holy Potatoes, A Weapon Shop, Ghost 1.0, Super Volley Blast, Philipix, Phil's Epic Adventure, Johnny Turbo's Arcade, Express Rider, Radio Hammer Station, Star Story, The Horizon Escape, and ACA Neo Geo, The Super Spy. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been News Cartridge. I am Dandruff. I will see you tomorrow. And I removed the shell from my racing snail in hopes that he'd be faster. He's actually more sluggish now. Did you hear about the new snail mobile game? It's called Escargot. Click up here to watch the bonus episode for today's show. Click down here to watch yesterday's episode, which is about Blizzard raising $12.7 million for charity through Overwatch. And click over here to subscribe to my wonderful, wonderful channel. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.